Hola!
Hi, this is Jonathan from La Tienda. I'm here in my backyard on this beautiful day, and I'm going to cook a vegetable paella. It's very simple and delicious. You can choose whatever vegetables you want to add, and I'll show you the steps on how to cook a paella over the grill. Here I have my seasoned paella pan, and I'm ready to go. I have a little wood fire going in the grill, which is nice because it starts really hot, and then as the wood kind of turns into charcoal, it cools down a little bit as you cook the paella. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. And then I'm going to put in some tomato and some onions with a little garlic in it to make a little sofrito sauce. Now in they generally don't use onions, but I think for a vegetable paella, it makes a lot of sense to add the onions for extra flavor. So what you're going to do is basically allow this to cook down into a sauce. The onions will brown, the tomatoes will cook down, and that's kind of a flavor base for the paella. Put a little salt on there. This pan that I'm using is a 15-inch traditional paella pan. It's made out of carbon steel. And I actually seasoned it by coating it in olive oil and baking it in the oven at low temperature for about an hour, which prevents rust. All right, you can see that the tomato and onions have cooked down into a nice sauce. So now I'm going to add the other vegetables. First I'm going to put in some fresh asparagus. And I was going to put in some broad beans, but at the store they didn't have them, so it's easy to switch out for whatever's the freshest. After this cooks for a little bit, I'm going to put in some a mix of different mushrooms that I got locally from a farmer. There's some shiitakes and, well, really I don't even know what kind of mushroom this is, but it looks pretty good. All right, so now I'm going to add the wild mushrooms. Notice how that sofrito sauce kind of coats the other vegetables, adding a lot of flavor. All right, I don't want to cook those mushrooms too long, So now I'm going to put in the paella rice. What I'm using today is rice from Calasparra, which is a famous rice growing region in Murcia on the eastern side of Spain. The really neat thing is that they actually grow the rice in the mountains in cold mountain water, which means that the rice grows really slowly, is very dense, and absorbs a lot of flavor. I won't go into it too much, but it's really important to have great rice for paella. Rice is the foundation. So what I'm going to do right now is pour the rice right in with the vegetables. This is about 2 cups of rice, and this will coat the rice and kind of toast it a little bit. Now I'm also going to add some Spanish saffron from La Mancha. The saffron gives the paella its famous yellow color and a really nice floral aroma. It's really delicious. I'm just going to sprinkle some across the paella. All right, now it's time to add the broth. This is a vegetable broth. I used onions, some tomato, the stems of the mushrooms. It just adds a lot of really good flavor to the paella. Now at this point, we want to distribute the rice and vegetables evenly across the pan, because once this starts to bubble, you really don't want to touch the paella. I'll show you in a minute, but all of the ingredients will create kind of a seal or a barrier at the top of the paella, and you don't want to be stirring or poking at it while it cooks. All right, that looks really good. All right, you can see now that the broth is starting to bubble. The rice is cooking, lots of action going on. Now, when you're cooking over wood fire or charcoal like this, sometimes you have a hotter part of the grill and a cooler part of the grill. So every once in a while, it makes sense to rotate the paella so everything cooks evenly. All right, the paella is cooking nicely, bubbling away. I haven't stirred it at all, and actually it's cooking quite evenly. What I'm going to do to finish the paella is I got some sprigs of rosemary from my yard here, and I'm just going to put those on top of the paella. And I'm going to cover up the grill to add a little extra smoky flavor. I used hickory wood for the fire, so hopefully that'll add a nice smoky flavor to it. All right, the lid has been on the grill for about 10 minutes now, so we'll check on the paella. All right, it is looking great. I love that hickory smoke. And right now, what you can do is kind of listen to the paella. You can hear it kind of sizzling. That's right about the time it's time to take it off of the grill. I love all the smokiness, the delicious flavors. There's really no need to have fish or meat to have a great paella. And you can always sub in whatever vegetables you prefer. I like to serve this with a nice bottle of wine and some fresh baked bread, maybe a green salad. It's a great recipe, and it only took me about a half an hour once I had all of the ingredients prepared. All right, buen provecho.
Home is where I live near my friends.
Home is where I can get to work on just one bus.
Home is where I can afford the rent and the birthday presents.
Home is where the kids can play outside.
Home is a dinner table and a family around it.
Home is a place that's just the way I left it. Home is where we grow up.
Home is where our futures start. But for many, home is more than hard work alone can achieve. It's hard to dream if you don't know where you'll lay your head at night. So who's to say who gets to dream?
Hi, this is Jonathan from La Tienda. Today I want to show you how to make Horchata de Chufa, the amazingly refreshing beverage from Valencia. It's pretty simple to make, but it takes a little time, so let me show you the steps. First of all, Horchata de Chufa is made from chufa nuts, which are actually a tuber that are grown in the Valencia region. Now, not to mistake this with Mexican horchata, which is made with rice. Here you have the chufa nuts. They come dried. We sell them in this kilo sack. This will make about 4 liters. Today we're going to make 1 liter. Now the first step is to soak the dried chufa nuts. I soaked this batch last night. It's been about 24 hours. So we're ready to start. I have a nice blender here. So the first thing you do is I'm going to drain off this water and then add the chufa nuts directly to the blender. Now I have 1 liter of water here. Next I have grated about a teaspoon of lemon, so I add that right in. And finally, you can add a little cinnamon in there if you'd like. This is probably a little more than I want, so I have a smaller piece over here that I'm going to add in. And finally, we add 1 cup of sugar. Get this secured, and here we go. All right, that's been blended for a couple of minutes. Now, normally what you would do is let this sit for about a half an hour to get all the chufa goodness out of there. But I don't think you want to sit here and watch this for that long, so we'll just skip that part. So as you can see, it's a nice, frothy, shake-like consistency. And what I'm going to do now is pour this through a strainer to get all the fiber out. All right, now we have a pitcher of horchata. The ideal way to serve horchata is to refrigerate it, and then right before you serve it, put it into the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. This will turn it kind of slushy, more like a milkshake. Again, you don't want to wait for that at this moment, so I'll just show you what it looks like not slushy. So it's very refreshing, sweet. If you're walking along the promenade in Valencia, you'll see horchaterias every so often, and you'll see families out there drinking them like you would a milkshake on a hot summer day. It's sweet, it's delicious, it has a little bit of the citrus flavor from the lemon. It's kind of a nutty flavor as well. It's really one of my favorite drinks from Spain. Salud. Hi, this is Jonathan from La Tienda. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Bocadillo sandwich. This is a very simple sandwich in Spain, so it's really important that you have great ingredients. All of the ingredients are right here in front of me. We have great bread, manchego cheese, extra virgin olive oil, and sliced jamón serrano. So first, we have this bread, which is from Galicia. We bring it in, it's partially baked. All you have to do is put it in the oven and bake it for around 10 minutes, and it is amazing. So let me show you. I'm gonna cut open a piece. So it has a really nice crisp crust, and the interior is nice and light. It's one of our favorite products. At this point, we just put a little bit of olive oil on there. Adds a little flavor and a little moisture. I've already sliced some manchego cheese. This manchego cheese is from a tiny town called Portuna in middle of La Mancha. It's made by a family that they only use fresh milk from local sheep. So I just put some slices on there. And then finally, we're gonna put on some jamón serrano. This jamón serrano that I just opened is sliced from all natural hams that we import from Spain. We slice them here at our warehouse. Well, not here, this is my house. The warehouse is still working though, slicing jamón serrano, and each one is interleaved, so it's really easy to separate. And this is aged for at least 18 months. So I'll put a couple of nice big slices on there. Maybe one more. All right. Then all we do is fold the bocadillo in half, and that's it. Very, very simple. But if you don't have the right ingredients, it's not going to be that great. I'm going to cut mine in half here. We're all spending a lot of time at home right now, so having something like this, something a little different, adds a little bit of fun to your day. Buen provecho. Hi, I'm Jonathan Harris from La Tienda. Today I'm going to tell you about a special dish from eastern Spain called Fideuá. It's cooked in a paella pan, and in many ways it's just like paella, but instead of rice, the people of Valencia and Catalunya prepare this dish using pasta. In fact, fideo in Catalan literally means pasta. It is very thin, short strands of pasta. In this case, we have a pasta that is made in Catalunya, and it's infused with seafood broth for even more flavor. Generally, this is a seafood dish. So today we're going to have this is about a half pound of firm white fish, in this case cod. We're also going to include some nice fresh local shrimp. I have about a cup of one whole fire roasted tomato here. You can also use fresh tomato, but I prefer this. We have the smoked pimentón de la vera and saffron from La Mancha, which adds great color and flavor. And of course, chopped garlic. You can't miss that. And, well, I almost forgot the most important star in the background is some seafood broth that I made. It has an intensity of flavor that really adds that extra level to the dish. All right, well, let's get started cooking. All right, now it's time to eat. Traditionally in Catalonia and Valencia, this is a dish that the farmers might share. What I love about it is it's a communal dish. You can serve everyone, or everyone can take a spoon and eat whatever they'd like. Generally you can serve it with a wedge of lemon, or you can add a little bit of alioli. Alioli is a garlic mayonnaise. It's basically garlic and extra virgin olive oil blended into a delicious sauce. The Catalans claim that they invented alioli. Now I know some Frenchmen and Italians who might argue with that, but it is fantastic. That's tasty. It has some of the great flavors that you might find in a paella, but a totally different texture. This is a great dish to discover a different way of eating Spanish food. And we actually have a gift basket at La Tienda that includes all of the essential ingredients if you want a head start. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Hi, this is Jonathan Harris from La Tienda. Today I'm going to tell you about a delicious, simple way to roast Marcona almonds. Marconas are a very special type of almond from southern Spain. They differ from your typical almond in that they have a higher percentage of beneficial fats, which is good for you, but it's also delicious. What we're going to use today are blanched, peeled Marconas, and we're going to use a recipe that's like most of my favorite recipes in Spain. Very simple, using really great, high-quality ingredients. And this only takes about 10 or 15 minutes. What we're going to do is roast these almonds in extra virgin olive oil, some amazing sea salt from Cadiz, and the wonderful pimentón de la vera, a smoked paprika from Extremadura. We're going to cook all of this in a flat paella pan so that the almonds roast evenly throughout. Let's get started. First, set your stove to medium heat. What you're going to want to do next is coat the bottom of the pan with extra virgin olive oil. Now, some people will tell you not to use extra virgin olive oil for cooking, and that's not entirely true. As long as you don't cook it at too high of a temperature, it'll retain most of its flavor and health benefits. Now, once the oil is heated up a little bit, we're going to add the almonds. Now, I really like using the paella pan for lots of things. Roasting almonds is one. I also use them to cook up some of our padron peppers in the summer. It's really versatile. It's also great on the grill for cooking vegetables and other things that would otherwise might fall into the fire. All right, once the almonds have been coated with oil, add some sea salt. What I'm using right now is some amazing sea salt from the region of Cadiz. They've been producing salt in this area since before the Romans were there, and they still produce the same way in these salt flats. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It sounds like it's getting a little hot. This particular salt is mixed with a little bit of sherry wine from the region and several types of black pepper, which is going to add a touch of spice, but not very much. You can see now they're starting to get that nice brown roasted color. Don't put the paprika until you're ready to pull the almonds off the pan, because once they're coated in this paprika, you can't tell if they're roasted or not. It really changes the color. So we'll put that in at the very end of the process. This is a really special paprika. It's made from peppers that are grown in Extremadura. They are put in a smokehouse where they use this Encina oak wood to slow smoke. It's amazing, just these rooms full of peppers. So it has a really intense smoky flavor. This is not your typical paprika from the grocery store. Pretty soon these will be fine to eat. There's some people who like them, to have a little bit of a dark kind of roasted flavor. Other people really prefer them to be milder and not to have that flavor. So it's really up to you. Now it's important to really keep an eye on this. If you walk away for a minute, the almonds can burn, and that's no good. All right, well, these are getting close to done here. You can tell that most of them are nice and brown. What we're gonna do now is right before I pull them off the pan, I'm gonna add the pimenton. All right, let's take these off. I have a nice cazuela here. We can pour the almonds right into the paper towels, let them cool off. Now, one thing to know is that you need to let these almonds cool for at least 20-30 minutes. When they're still warm off of the stove, they tend to be very soft. All of the oleic acid and beneficial fats are very warm and soft. Once they cool down to room temperature, they'll be nice and crunchy, have a really great roasted flavor. Hi, this is Jonathan Harris from La Tienda. I'm here in Navarra for the Piquillo pepper harvest. This is a very special pepper that's only grown here. It has a typical shape with a point on the end, and that's where it gets its name, the Piquillo. Now, this pepper is harvested in the autumn, and our friends at Navarrico nearby are going to roast these over a wood fire. Once they're roasted, they have a very distinct flavor. It's very sweet, smoky, and because the peppers have a thick skin, they hold together as a whole pepper, so you can stuff them, you can roast them. I personally enjoy them right on a plate as a tapa, drizzled with a little bit of olive oil and a nice glass of Rioja wine. Next, we're going to go over to Navarrico, and we'll show you how these peppers are roasted and peeled by hand.
Hello, we're back at Navarrico, where the fresh Piquillo peppers are being wood fire roasted. The entire outside of the peppers are charred. This makes the peppers sweeter, and it has a really delicious smoky flavor. outside Navarrico, where these ladies are cleaning each of the piquillo peppers by hand. Now you notice there's no water used at all, so the flavor stays in the pepper. In fact, when the peppers are jarred, there's no water or anything else packed with them. So you just get the full flavor of these peppers that just hours ago were on the vine out in the field. So now we'll go see how they're packed in the jars. Now we're at the final step, where the roasted and sweet peppers are being packed into jars. Here at Navarrico, they actually overpack the jars so that when the top is put on, there's nothing in the jar but whole, perfect peppers. In fact, if the peppers have any flaws, they're set aside and they slice them up and sell them as pieces. So this is the best piquillo pepper you can get in Spain. Wood fire roasted, perfect, great for serving in your home.